A common mistake I see a lot of guys making is they're thinking that some giant catastrophic event is going to happen. And then once that event happens, they can then plan their strategy of how they're going to overcome and thrive and whatever it is that happens after that. It's a huge mistake because what a lot of guys aren't realizing is the catastrophic event that's going to happen is already happening as we speak. And if you are not putting yourself in a position to where you can actually secure your present and your future, then you're simply behind. I'm sure you heard of the Great Reset. I'm sure you heard of the Great Wealth Transfer. I want you to understand that these things are happening as I am speaking. And if you are not an active participant in this shift, you will be the people who are left behind. So what do I mean by that? So if you know anything about the Great Wealth Transfer or the Wealth Transfer, whatever it is that you've heard about, you probably think that it's a bunch of old people who are ceasing to exist and they're leaving their money to their family members, right? And that's a small part of it, but that part doesn't really affect you. The part that does affect you and the part that nobody else talks about is when the wealth is transferred, you have to understand that it's not being transferred to you. It's being transferred to the new group of individuals who are coming in to this country. And I don't mean this country. This is a worldwide thing. People are coming into all different types of countries, and I'm sure you've heard about it. Trust me, these governments aren't saying, oh my God, we have this problem. We have to stop these people from coming in. That's not what's happening at all. Because we know that if a country wanted to stop people from coming in, they would stop people from coming in. Nobody can just walk into North Korea. You understand what I'm saying? And so, of course, you're realizing that these people are not only coming in, but they're being invited in. They may be on the front lines like, oh my gosh, we have this problem. But trust me, they want these people to come in. And you know why they want these people to come in? Because what happens is, and this is a part of a reset, is that when there's the average man is realizing that he can't work 40, 45, 50 hours a week to afford the bare necessities. And in fact, he probably has to have that job and a side income. Now, that's maybe no problem for all my hustlers out there, but the average man is just not a hustler. They don't have that drive and that mindset to say, I'm going to work 60, 70, 80 hours a week to afford the bare necessities. But you do know who's willing to come into this country or any country at all that's inviting all these people in and they're willing to work 60, 70, 80 hours a week? You guessed it. These people who are coming in, and understand this. This is exactly what it is that they want, because just because you won't work that job that you know is unfair doesn't mean they won't work this job that they know is unfair. This is the reset. You worked that same job the same way that they did, and you climbed it up and realized, like, wait a minute, this is BS. And so now you're looking for ways out. And listen, we've seen guys who just say, I quit, I'm done working. But guess what? When these people are coming in, they'll happily take that job. They will happily work for underpaid. And again, that's not only affecting them, that's affecting you, because if you want to charge more, you are now being out market. You are now being priced out. And this is where that wealth transfer is occurring. Because again, if you're making $12,000 a year in the country that you are in, and you are working 60, 80 hours a week, then making $40,000 a year in this country sounds like a dream, especially if you're working the same hours. And so this is what's going on. And this is why I'm telling guys, like, listen, you have to start preparing now. You have to start trying to make that full-time income online and get up out of this country. Now, listen, I know a lot of people are like, you know what? I want to stay in this country. I'm not leaving, yada, yada, yada. That's fine. You know, you're going to have to stay here and you're going to have to deal with the ramifications of what's going to happen in the future. If that's what you choose to do, then I wish you all the best. But for the guys who are more aligned with what I'm saying, you have to find some type of digital marketing skills or try to find some work from home skill, something that you can do to make a decent living online and move to these different countries that is going to allow you to live a higher quality of life for half the cost. Now, again, notice how I'm saying the reset is happening. Reset is happening and the great wealth transfer is happening, because what happens when you are making a great income online, at least in these different countries, you become more of the wealth, of more of the rich side, more of the people who are considered to be wealthy in these other countries. You're transferring that wealth. Now, again, if you know anything about money management, you're not going to just let your money sit there. You're going to try to go and invest. You're going to try to purchase assets. This is where this wealth transfer is happening. Notice how there are people coming into this country who are willing to accept the bare minimum. And again, because it's better than where they came from, and you're saying, okay, no more, and you go to these different countries and you're using your American dollars or whatever currency that you're from to start living a better quality of life there. Again, it's resetting. The rich people are resetting in a different country, the poor people are resetting in a different country, and everybody's happy because they're getting exactly what they want. This is one giant game of musical chairs, except the people who are going from country to country to place, that you have to start making those arrangements now. Where are you going? If you're going to stay in your country, even though you know it's on fire right now, congratulations, but understand that there's a plan that's going on, and you have to start being the strategist that's in your life to protect not only yourself, but your future family or your future wife. And if you have a family or you have a future wife. Stop looking at the world as you're going to get a notification on your phone that says, hey, this is going to happen in T minus 2 weeks, or this is happening right now. I need you to understand that this is happening right now before your eyes. And there are many different types of people who have no clue, who are not going to do anything. And one day is going to wake up and be like, wait a minute, how did this get this way? You understand? If you guys know anything about people or anything about rolling out agendas, you can't just slap it onto the world and the world just adapts. No, it's a slow moving process. And usually people aren't paying attention because they're distracted by sports. They're distracted by the latest drama. They're distracted by all the distractions. You guys know these distractions. They're distracted by these things. Okay. And again, those of us who take a step back and we're like, wait a minute. Something's going on here. We have to start moving and shaking. This is why there's only a small percentage of people who actually get the things that they want, because 80% of the people are waiting for things to happen and then they make their move. But if history has taught me anything, and being alive for 28 years has taught me anything, is that it doesn't matter. It's not waiting on you. In fact, what's going to happen is if you're not proactive in your life, then you're going to have to be reactive in your life. And the difference between proactive is you can see ahead and you're like, okay, this is coming. Let me make arrangements so I could benefit off of this, versus reactive, which is you're being distracted. You think everything's kumbaya, and then life smacks you in the face. And now you're sitting here struggling, trying to put out a million fires. And so you have to ask yourself, who am I going to be as this is going on? Because I promise you that life right now is going to be completely different in a way that you cannot see coming in the next 5 to 10 years, okay? And so if you are a man who you say, you know what, I need to get on my P's and Q's, I need to get my ish together, now is the time to where you start dedicating time, attention, energy, dedication, consistency, and wisdom to whatever it is that you are trying to do to get you in a position of power. So listen, this is that video. If you like the video, like the video. If you want more talks like this, type in more talks like this, and hit the super thanks if you enjoyed this message. And with that, guys, I'll see you on the next one. All right, peace out.